Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. April is Sikh Awareness Month, and I've been studying Sikhi for the past few months, and I've noticed that many people don't seem to know much about what Sikhi actually is, beyond that it's a religious minority, they often have beards and turbans, and that's about it. But there's actually a lot there, and it's actually very simple. It's not so arcane and inaccessible as a lot of people seem to think. It actually all just comes down to a recognition that we all come from the same creative source, and we all participate in the ongoing creative potential of the universe, and therefore we all deserve equality. So it's a philosophy of providing equality through direct action in a diversity of tactics for anybody. So everybody deserves to eat, and nobody ought to be persecuted. Therefore, the slogan is Deg Teg Fateh. That means Deg is cauldrons, Teg is swords, Fateh is victory. So cauldrons means edification and food. Let's actually feed people because they're hungry. Simplest form of direct action. Teg is the sword. That means liberty, and that means sovereignty. Fateh means victory, and that means classless society, ultimately. So those are the objectives of the Sikhs. Now, as a tradition, this originates from the 1400s with Guru Nanak, who tried to abolish the caste system in India and tried to provide full gender equality and equality for everybody for any reason. And it reached its full perfection under Guru Gobind Singh, who in 1699 actually abolished the guruship, transforming the religion into a non-hierarchical cooperative of soldier saints with this mission to save the world. So Gobind Singh instructed them all to carry swords, called kirpan, so that they would always be ready to fight to defend the helpless. Now, this is a universal philosophy, as I said. This is not limited to you have to be from a specific background, but it also doesn't seek converts. In fact, it's against any form of conversion. It's not saying you should become Sikh. Rather, it's if you were already Sikh, and then you learn the words and you understand that this is the philosophy that you already believed, then of course you're welcome, and nobody is ever turned away. But there's no proselytization. There's no we're going to go and try to turn you into us, because nobody should be doing that. In the same way, Sikhs usually keep natural hair called kes. This is part of the recognition of equality, because if all natural forms are equal, then nobody should have to change themselves in order to be accepted. I've known, for example, Rastafari who came from Jamaica to Canada and then had to cut their beard and cut their hair against their religious beliefs, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to get a job. So this is abhorrent and should be abhorrent to anybody, but especially to a Sikh who believes that we're all equal, nobody should be persecuted. So there's a belief in wearing the hair just as it naturally grows, because that's exactly how God gave it to you, and it doesn't need to be changed in any way. However, that doesn't mean that if you do cut your hair that you're now lesser. In fact, there's a belief nobody is high, nobody is low. So there's nothing you can do that is going to make you lesser than anyone else. Just because you shave your beard or anything like that does not in any way diminish your worth and your awesomeness. I would apply the same thing to trans people. So we could say that you don't need to transition. You actually already are yourself before you do anything. You always were yourself. You will always be yourself. You should never be persecuted, and you should always be accepted on your own terms and supported in thriving in whatever way is going to work the best for you in the situation that you're in. So you don't need to transition, but if you choose to, that's all right. Nobody should judge you for that, because you're not lesser for that. You're not at any point separating yourself from God. You're simply doing what you had to do under the circumstance, and that is just part of the natural unfolding of the diversity and complexity of the universe. Now, the khanda, the symbol of the Sikhs, is represented as several swords, which represent the terms Deg, Teg, Fateh. Deg means cauldrons, means literally food. Like, we're going to provide food for the hungry. People need to eat. We're going to take direct action and provide it to them. Teg means swords, means sovereignty and liberty. That means if anybody is being persecuted, is being enslaved, anything like that, it's right to take up arms to resist that and to liberate people. And Fateh means victory, and essentially implies a classless society in which we can all enjoy equality. nobody is going to be persecuted, nobody's going to have to go without food. I'll stop the video now, but if you'd like me to clarify or go into more detail about any of these topics, or if you'd like me to discuss the content of any of these images in this random slideshow that I have playing here, I'll be happy to do so. Simply post a timestamp in the comments, and I'll see if I can address it in the future. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.